सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परम ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्वत्सराणां सदां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो नमः ऋषिभ्यो नमः मुनिभ्यो नमः गुरुभ्यो नमः ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमः आचार्येभ्यो नमः भक्तेभ्यो नमः साधुभ्यो नमः साधकेभ्यो नमः तीर्थेभ्यो नमः क्षेत्रेभ्यो नमः शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। ओं वरब्रह्मणे नमः महाविष्णवे नमः ब्रह्मणे नमः सनक सनंदन सनातन सनत्कुमारेभ्यो नमः। श्रीनारदाय नमः। ओं श्री वेदव्यासाय नमः। ओं श्री शुकब्रह्मर्षये नमः। ओं श्री सूतमहामने नमः। ओं शौनकादृशिभ्यो नमः। ओं वैशंपायनादृशिभ्यो नमः। ओं अत्र्यादृशिभ्यो नमः। ओं मत्स्याद्यवतारेभ्यो नमः। ओं प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो नमः। ओं श्री दक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। ओं श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती स्वरूपिणी श्री आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। ओं श्री माता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। ओं श्री आद्यशंकराचार्यवर्यादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओं अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओं श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कंधः मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। श्री भगवानुवाच। Having saluted the Lord, the Gurus, trying to increase our devotion, faith, intensity every day. Done today. 25th chapter, though it is done, but because last couple of slokas are very important for our understanding, conviction and sadhana, we will re-see them. Before that, as a part of our everyday Parayanam, the new chapter, chapter 26, Aila Geetam. It's a song sung by the Ilaputra Raja Pururava, in which extreme dispassion is explained, followed by, in the same chapter, by Lord Krishna, the Mahima of the Satsanga, Mahima of the Santa or Sadhu Purusha or Guru, which are very essential for a spiritual seeker. Both these topics are very well, very exhaustively covered in this chapter. So let us chant it. Om Atha Shadvimshodhyayah Shri Bhagavanuvach Mallakshanamimam Kayam Labdva Madharma Asthitah Anandam Paramatmanam Atmastham Samupaiti Mam Gunamaya Jivayonya विमुक्तो ज्ञाननिष्ठया गुणेषु मायामात्रेषु दृश्यमानेषु अवस्तुतः वर्तमानोऽपि न पुमान् युज्यते वस्तुभिर्गुणैः संगं न कुर्यादसतां शिष्णोदरतृपां क्वचितो तस्यानुगः तमसि अन्धे पतत्यन्धानुगान्धवतो ऐडः सम्राट् इमां गाथां अगायत बृहत् श्रवाः ऊर्वशी विरहात् मुह्यन् निर्विण्णः शोकसंयमे त्यक्त्वात्मानं व्रजन्तीं तां नग्न उन्मत्तवन् नृपः विलपन् अन्वगात् जाये घोरे तिष्ठेति विक्लवः कामान् अतृप्तोऽनुजुषन् क्षुल्लकान् वर्षयामिनीः न वेदयान्तीर्नायान्तीः पूर्वस्याकृष्टचेतनः ऐळ उवाच अहो मे मोहविस्तारः कामकश्मलचेतसः देव्या गृहीतकण्ठस्य न आयुः खण्डा इमे स्मृताः नाहं वेदाभिनिर्मुक्तः सूर्यो वाभ्युदितो मुया मुषितो वर्षपूगानां बताहानि गतान्युत अहो मे आत्मसम्मोहः येनात्मा योषितां कृतः क्रीडामृगः चक्रवर्ती नरदेव शिखामणिः सपरिच्छदम् आत्मानं हित्वा तृणम् इवेश्वरम् यान्तीं स्त्रियं चान्वगमं नग्न उन्मत्तवद् रुदन् कुतस्तस्यानुभावः स्यात् तेज ईशत्वमेव वा योऽन्वगच्छन् स्त्रियं यान्तीं करवत् पादताडितः किं विद्यया किं तपसा किं त्यागेन श्रुतेन वा किं विविक्तेन मौनेन स्त्रीभिर्यस्य मनोहृतं स्वार्थस्याकोविदं धिङ्मां मूर्खं पण्डितमानिनं योऽहमीश्वरतां प्राप्य स्त्रीभिर्गुहो गोखरवत् जितः सेवतो वर्षपूगान्मे ऊर्वश्या अदरासवं न तृप्यत्यात्मभूः कामः वह्निराहुतिभिर्यथा पुंशल्यापहृतं चित्तं कोऽन्वन्यो मोचितुं प्रभुः आत्मा रामेश्वरं ऋते भगवन्तम् अधोक्षजं बोधितस्यापि देव्या मे सूक्तवाक्येन दुर्मतेः मनोगतो महामोहः नापयाति अजितात्मनः किमेतया नोपकृतं रज्वा वा सर्पचेतसः रज्जुः स्वरूपा विदुषः योऽहं यद् अजितेन्द्रियः क्वायं मलीमसः कायः दुर्गन्ध्याध्यात्मको शुचिः क्व गुणाः सौमनस्याद्याः यध्यासो अविद्यया कृतः पित्रोः किं स्वनुभार्यायाः स्वामिनोऽग्नेः स्वगृध्रयोः किमात्मनः किं सुहृदाम इति यो नावसीयते तस्मिन् कळेबरे मेध्ये तुच्छनिष्ठे विसज्जते अहो सुभद्रं सुनसं सुस्मितं च मुखं स्त्रियाः त्वं मां सरुधिरस्नायु मेदो मज्जास्थिसंहतौ विण्मोत्रपूये रमतां कृमीणां कियदन्तरम् अथापि नोपसज्जेत स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चार्तवितु विषेन्द्रसंयोगात् मनः क्षुभ्यते न अन्यथा अदृष्टाद् अश्रुताद् भावात् न भाव उपजायते असंप्रयुञ्जतः प्राणान् श्याम्यति स्तिमितं मनः तस्मात् संगो न कर्तव्यः स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चेन्द्रियैः विदुचां चापि अविश्रब्धः षड्वर्गः किमु मादृशा श्रीभगवानुवाच एवं प्रगायन् नृपदेव देवः स ऊर्वशीलोकमथो विहाय आत्मानमात्मन्यवगम्य मां वै उवारमज्ञानविधूतमोहः ततो दुःसङ्गमुत्सृज्य सत्सु सज्जेत बुद्धिमान् सन्त एतस्य छिन्दन्ति मनोव्यासङ्गमुक्तिभिः सन्तोऽनपेक्षामच्चित्ताः प्रशान्ताः समदर्शिनः निर्ममा निरहङ्काराः निर्द्वन्द्वा निष्परिग्रहाः तेषु नित्यं महाभागेषु मत्कथाः सम्भवन्ति हिता नॄणां जुषतां प्रपुनन्त्यघं ता ये शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति ह्यनुमोदन्ति चादृताः मत्पराः श्रद्धानाश्च भक्तिं विन्दन्ति ते मयि भक्तिं लब्धवतः साधोः किमन्यद् अवशिष्यते मयि अनन्तगुणे ब्रह्मणि आनन्दानुभवात्मनि यतोपश्रयमाणस्य भगवन्तं विभावसुं शीतं भयं तमोप्येति साधून् संसेवतस्तथा निमज्जोन्मज्जतां घोरे भवाब्धौ परमायनं सन्तो ब्रह्मविदः शान्ताः नौरुदृढे वाप्स्मज्जताम् अन्नं हि प्राणिनां प्राणः आर्तानां शरणं त्वहं धर्मो वित्तं नृणां प्रेत्य सन्तोर्वाग्बिभ्यतो अरुणम् ॐ सन्तो दिशन्ति चक्षुंषि बहिरर्कः समुत्थितः देवता बान्धवाः सन्तः सन्तः आत्माहमेव च वैतसेनस्ततोऽप्येवम् उर्वश्या लोकनिःस्पृहः मुक्तसङ्गो महिमेताम् आत्मा रामश्चचारः। इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नारायण। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, श्रीभागवत शरणं मम, श्रीसद्गुरुशरणं मम, श्रीसूत शरणं मम, श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम, श्रीव्यास शरणं मम, श्रीनारद शरणं मम, श्रीकुमार शरणं मम, श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम, श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ कृष्णप्रियं सकलकल्मषनाशनं च मुक्त्येकहेतुम् इह भक्तिविलासकारी सन्तः कथानकमिदं पिबतादरेण लोके हि तीर्थपरिशीलन सेवया किम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिः हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ पञ्चविंशोऽध्यायः गुणत्रयविभागयोगः। षड्विंशोऽध्यायः ऐलगीतः। हरि ओम्। Salutations to the Lord, to all the Gurus, wholeheartedly. Remember the Parabrahma Tattva, Mahavishnu Sriman Narayana Tattva, Shri Brahmadeva, Shri Sanakadi Muni, Shri Narada Ji, Shri Vyasa Bhagawatam, Shri Shuka Brahmarshi Ji, Shri Suta Mahamuni, Shri Vaishampayana Rishi. These are all the main Guru Acharyas of Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana. The Acharya Parampara. Many Acharyas since then till now have brought this Bhagavata Jnanam to us. To all of them we have done our wholehearted salutation, praying to them to give us such heart, such intellect, such mind, which makes us understand the Bhagavata Rasa, Bhagavata Sara very soon, and undoubtedly we become Uttamottama Bhagavata in our inner experience, not necessarily in the outer performance. Although Bhagavata Tva or Bhakti are not the performances, they are only inner anubhutis of finding that devotion, surrendering to the Lord, and winning the game of the life. May we all have that anubhuti with this prayer. Now, in this 25th chapter of Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the chapter seems to be what seems to be truly so interesting, so important, so inspiring, so detailed if one wants to understand and pursue the Adhyatmika sadhana. Now, these verses number 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. The Pancha Shlokas of Pachisva Adhyaya of the 11th Skandha are worthy of contemplating every day, remembering every day, reminding every day, so that we become intense, deep in our conviction about the goal as Paramatma and also in our sadhana of transcending gunas. In that, first conquer the tamas rajas by the invocation of sattva and use the sattva guna in knowing the tattva and go beyond even this sattva. So, in this regard, let us remember our goal is to become gunatita or to discover our identity with that Maya Atita, Prakriti Atita, Guna Atita, Shuddha, Sadgana, Siddhana, Anandagana, Parabrahma, Paramatma. In Bhakti Sadhana, the Bhakta has surrendered all the upadhis to the Paramatma. Upadhis are the ones which are coming, which have come out of the Maya. Because he has surrendered all of them to the Lord, he himself as an individual also doesn't claim to be an entity apart from other than independent of Lord. Therefore, the Maya doesn't touch him. He, that great Bhakta, also in the Gunatita Anubhava Sthiti. Gunas, Maya, doesn't trouble him also because he has surrendered to the Lord. Maya metam te taranti ye mameva prapadyanti. That is what is for him. Now, what are these 4 5 slokas? Very simple to listen, to understand, but important to be remembered. First one. What is that? Etaha samsrutayaha pumsaha guna karma nibandhanaha. All these samsara gatis of coming and going to each of the deha and get bound in that deha from the birth till death by the prarabdha first thing, by the world around second thing, by one's own vasanas third thing. This is how the samsruti is defined. I am forced to be born in this deha, no choice from birth to the death. I am forced to go through all the prarabdha of whatever the sort it is there, and the entire world, whichever around me, Kali Yuga, with all its positive, negative, I cannot escape their influence. And in this deha, from birth till death, I am fully, continuously forced, compelled, propelled, influenced by my own vasanas, my own gunas. This samsruti of mine, yours, everybody's, etaha samsrutaya pumsaha, of every purusha, every jiva, guna, karma, nibandhanaha. They are forcing us to this, we are forced to this bondage because as a karma phala, the karma phala is because of the karma, and karma is by the gunas. 3 gunas creating 3 sorts of vritti in us, forcing us to do those 3 types of karma, again forcing us to enter into different samsara to go through that karma phala. Yet this need not be the case. One can transcend these gunas and become gunatita mukta. That is the purpose for which all the shastras, all sadhanas are there. But before that, this is how, in a nutshell, in a summary form, we must understand how and why we are bound to this birth and death cycle, and between birth and death with variety of bondages. Clear? Guna, karma, karma phala are the causes for our samsruti or samsara. Trigunas, triguna prompted trikarma or any all those karma, and then phala, these 3 are the ones cause of samsara. In other words, as long as we are under the influence of gunas, so long we'll be propelled to do karma. As long as we do karma, the resultant karma phala will definitely put us into samsara. Therefore, do you want to cross or go beyond samsriti samsara? get liberated? Yeah. Then you have to transcend the karma phala. How do you transcend the karma phala, sir? The only way, by not doing the karma. How not to do karma, sir? What's prompting the karma? The three gunas. When you transcend the three gunas. So we are trying to repeat it 4 or 5 times in different ways so that all we, the listeners, who are kind enough for ourselves, of course, putting so much of time and effort from last 2.5 years regularly to listen to class, we must not be without the clarity of understanding. That minimum krupa the rishis, munis, gurus have on us, that they're so kind enough on us that you must understand what's bondage, how to get liberated, what's the sadhana. Bondage is samsara, janma marana, caused by the karma phala, prompted by the karma because of the trigunas. Triguna and karma ke beech mein all the vrittis. In the vrittis only, the kama, the shadvikaras are there, the raga, dveshas are there. All of them prompt us to do those sort of actions. So those three gunas alone are in the bija rupa in the form of vasanas. So the trigunatmaka are the vasanas. All our vasana trigunatmaka. Therefore, sattva guna vasana, when it becomes predominant, sattva guna vasana, when it becomes predominant, sattva guna sankalpa comes in the mind. That type of karma we are doing. Then rajogunatmaka vasana of kama krodha, when it is becoming predominant, that karma we are doing to get that result. So to tamogunatmaka vasana, when it is coming out, that time that tamogunatmaka karma of laziness, cruelty, whatever, we are involving in it to deserve the respective karma phala. Like that, so many vasanas are the gunas in the form of vasanas we had, which led to so many of sankalpa, thought, kamana in us. We did thousands of karma. Each of the karma is going on, yielding its result. All this calculation is done by the Lord, and suitably He gives us different dehas in different yonis with different circumstances, with continuous different experiences. And that's why lucky that we don't think, but we start thinking, it will be highly surprising and confusing for us to see what variety of anubhavas we are getting every day from morning till sleep and from birth to death. Millions are coming. So each of them have no relation with each other. कभी प्यार मिला, कभी गुस्सा मिला, कभी द्वेष मिला, कभी मित्रता मिला. क्या क्या हो रहा है हमको हर दिन. Sometimes health is good, some not good. In that not good also, one day this problem, another day that problem. What a funny thing going on. Thank God we don't think. If you think, it is surprising to know कि so many things we are going through. कभी नींद अच्छा आता है, कभी नहीं आता है. खाना कभी अच्छा मिलता है, कभी नहीं मिलता, कभी हजम होता है, कभी नहीं होता. One day suddenly we are in a beautiful AC room, another day in the very hot summer. Sometimes so loving people around us, sometimes inimical people around us. Sometimes we only help others, another time nobody to help us. We are all alone. Sometimes we appear to be doing no wrong, still caught up in some political case, some legal case, कुछ ना कुछ. अब देखा जाए कितने परेशान हर दिन हो रहे. All are follow of the karmas done because of the vasanas of these three gunas. To go through that only, we are given this deha, these antakarana indriyas, this world. Yet we have the ability given of Purushartha, in which prarabdha we cannot avoid, but you can avoid we can eliminate the sanchita, we can avoid the agami by gaining the jnanam, by reaching to the gunatita sthiti. Let us understand not only why we are going through the samsara dukkha, let us also understand and accept that there is a way to come out of it. And how to, that is what is sadhana. Second line. येन इमे निर्जिताः सौम्य गुणाः जीवेन चित्तजाः भक्ति योगेन मन्निष्ठः मद्भावाय प्रपद्यते. Now be attentive about every word and total sentence and thought of this shloka. Second and third line. First line, problem diagnosis. Second line, third line is solution. So, hey Saumya, that is, hey my dear Uddhava, oh my wonderful child or Sakha or Bhakta or Sadhaka, Jignasu, Mumukshu, Sadhu Purusha, Mitra. How many good gunas are there in Uddhava? All that put together, one word of address, Saumya. So this word Bhagavan is addressing to you and me also, because we also have come up to 11th skandha. Uddhav ji is listening only from 11th skandha. हम तो पहले स्कंद से सुनते आ रहे हैं. So in the heart of Bhagavan and Bhagavad Acharya Parampara, definitely we are Saumya, at least in this regard. In other cases they may beat us red and blue, but यहाँ तो खुश है वो कि almost all our group with all sincerity from beginning till now we were listening Bhagavatam. Therefore we can feel the joy that Krishna Bhagavan is addressing us also as Saumya. By addressing that, he is not talking about our past glory. He is reminding us of our future responsibility. To Uddhava also. भैया मैं सौम्य कहा, not only because you are past good quality, I told you Saumya because I expect from you the sadhana in the future for your own liberation. Then what to achieve and how to achieve and what will be the result. What to do, how to do, what is the outcome. These are the three questions. What to do? That yena jivena ime gunaha nirjitaha. What to do is, but the shloka meaning is that person by whom these three gunas are conquered, won over, the one who has become victorious on these three gunas. So by Saumya, what Bhagavan says, oh my dear, you have to conquer these three gunas. What we have to do? We have to transcend, conquer these gunas. What to do is this one. How to do will come in next line. What is the result will come toward the end. Now, where are these three gunas? Can we conquer the gunas in the world outside, in the objects, things, and beings? Because this is a most crucial point in this total topic. Every thought is independently important in its own way, but if all of them are put together, one important aspect of all of them is where are the influences of these three gunas in us, where we have to conquer them. Is it not like उस बंदे को जीतना है? अब इलाका कौन सा है? एक तो जगह है ना कि जहां उसको मरा सकते हैं, हराना चाहे वो होता है. So where these three gunas are, that's the most important point. Chitta jaha. In our own chitta, what is chitta? Which is continuously having vrittis. In such contexts, whenever the word chitta or mana or buddhi, any of them are used, all of them are one thing only, that is antakarana, which is of the nature of thoughts. There is only one antakarana, remember, which is of the nature of thoughts. That antakarana, be attentive, because of its different functional differences, and mainly there are only four functional differences, the chatushtaya is added to it. Therefore, it became antakarana chatushtaya. Means what? One antakarana only, which has got the vrittis in it. Vrittis make the antakarana. Because of its functional differences, it's called as mana buddhi chitta hankar. So, when we have to study those four as different, we study like that. But basic should never be forgotten, whether it is mana, whether it is buddhi, the chitta, harankara, all of them are nothing but vrittis only. All that vritti put together is called sukshma sharira or the antakarana. Mainly antakarana. Otherwise, in the sukshma sharira, jnanendriya, karmendriya, pancha prana also come. Therefore, more than antakarana, sukshma sharira, let us call it as antakarana. So the chitta jaha, they are in our own chitta, these three gunas come. Means what? Chitta means vrittis. Therefore, where ultimately we have to aim at, target at the vrittis which are continuously, constantly surfacing. Before the vritti surfacing, they are in the bija avastha, in the karana sharira, as vasanas. And which are the vasanas? All that we can never know them. We will know them only when they surface at the level of antakarana or in the form of the vrittis. Therefore, ultimately, where we have to aim at or target at our own vrittis. Therefore, chitta jaha means those three gunas which are expressing in the chitta in the form of the vrittis. That person by whom, when these are conquered. Okay, yene me name nirjitaha saumya gunaha jivena chittajaha. This is what we have to do. The three gunas which express as the variety of vrittis at the level of chitta, hey saumya, whoever has a nirjitaha has won over it. Why we are using both words, winning over, conquering over, as well as the transcendence? Winning, conquering is to have full command control on all the three gunatmaka, three vrittis, to use them whenever they are required, when we are in vyavahara as well as in sadhana. Transcendence is what? Only when the gunas are transcended, Prakriti is transcended, Avyakta Maya is transcended, then the correct apprehension or experience of the truth or reality or self or the Brahman happens, where ends all our journey. There we can say we are mukta. So to get mukti, we have to transcend. Before transcending, to be able to do our sadhana, to be able to avoid all pitfalls again and again, we have to conquer our master. Therefore, nirjita is equal to conquering and mastering in the beginning, transcending at the end, toward the end. So, yena ime nirjitaha saumya gunaha jivena, yena jivena. Whoever jiva sadhaka, the one who wants to do sadhana, whoever tries and does it. What are the sadhanas to do this achievement? Two words only Bhagavan says, but in that only every detail you have to find and work out. One is called Manishtaha, second is Bhakti Yogena. Be attentive about these words. Both these two words, yesterday we tried to explain, to some extent we succeeded also. Same thing we are repeating today also, both in a Bhakti Marga, in Jnana Marga. First, what are the words Bhakti Yogena and Manishtaha? First understand Manishtaha, second is Bhakti Yoga. So Manishtaha is, Nishtha is in the goal. Mat means Bhagavan. So when we take Bhagavan as our ultimate goal to be reached. In Bhakti Marga, total Sharanagati to Bhagavan and Samarpan to Bhagavan. Thereafter, wherever the Bhagavan puts, it is his choice. He may take me to his own Salokya. He may take me very close and give even Samipyata, Sarupyata to me. Finally, he may make me transcend off by all the Nama Rupadhipadhi and make me merge in him. Clear? That's called Mannishtata, goal sought in Bhakti. In Jnana Marga, what is Nishtha? Mannishtha as a goal establishing in the Aham Pratyaya. Aham Brahma Asmi. Aham Jivaha Na Asmi. Panchakosha Yukta. Aham Steha Na Asmi. Jagat Satyam Na Asti. Mama Samsara Na Asti. All that, each one of them are to be contemplated. Finally, Naham Jivosmi, Naham Dehosmi, Aham Brahmasmi is the Mannishtata. Mannishtha means Nishtha in me as the goal. What is Mannishtha? Nishtha, conviction about Paramatma as the goal, either in Bhakti or in Jnana. This is the first aspect of controlling or transcending the Trigunasu. Means what? If the goal is not Paramatma, obviously something other than Paramatma is the goal. What is something other than Paramatma? Is Maya. Maya created Trigunas, Triguna creating desire, desire fulfilling actions, action resulting variety worlds of experiences. And all put together are only two, Sukha and Dukkha. And those are gained through Jaya, Parajaya, Labha, Hani, Mana, Avamana, Shatru, Mitra, Shita, Ushna, Janma, Marana, Jara, Roga. These are all variety of paristhithis giving us two anubhava of Sukha and Dukkha, which we deserve because we have done karma. And in short, therefore, in another definition, Sukha Dukkha is samsara. Ananda is moksha, or moksha is ananda. Where any number of sukha dukkha come to the upadhi, I am not perturbed or touched by them. I am in a different state of self altogether, whose anubhava is ananda. Is the difference between when you are in the ocean, when you are on the banks of ocean. In the ocean, when we are in the boat, when the boat is rising beautifully, moving beautifully, according to the waves and all, there is sukha. Suddenly the huge waves come and we are frightened with dukkha. कि डूब जाएंगे, कभी हो भी सकता है. But when we are on the shores, both the uprising and down rising of waves, and on the wave, the boats, whoever are on the boat, whatever, we to do only Ananda. We are not touched by it because we are not in that Sukha Dukkha giving samsara of Trigunas. We are on the shores of the ocean, on the shore. It is not. That is called Ananda Sthiti. That is our goal. So, Manishtaha, feel it. If this Manishtata doesn't come, we will never be able to have the Sankalpa and Prayatna to transcend the Trigunas. Therefore, we will do many things in every life, but all those deeds will lead nowhere for moksha, but only for bandhana. And what is the contribution of Sadguru and Satshastra? The first and foremost contribution of Sadguru and Satsastra is to make us convinced about our goal as Sadvastu as and Paramatma or Paramatma. वो गुरु और वो शास्त्र परमात्मा ही मुक्ति देने वाले हैं, इसलिए परमात्मा ही लक्ष्य होना है। ऐसा नहीं बढ़ाता है, वो सत्शास्त्र नहीं है, वो सद्गुरु नहीं है, वो सत्संग नहीं है। And in this, there's no manipulation. In there's no emotional blackmail. In there's no sentiment. There's no compulsion. There's no conversions there. It's only simple logical approach. It is that in me only the Ananda is there, the real me, experienced by all the saints and sages, given to us through all the scriptures and authority. Finally, every day we experience it in deep sleep. Is there anything in the of the world of Jagrat or Swapna in the Nidra? कोई वस्तु विशेष, व्यक्ति विशेष, परिस्थिति विशेष, कोई कर्म फला, is there anything in the sleep? No. Do I deny myself? No, I am there. Then how was the experience of the sleep? Extremely happy. The everyday Nidra is a proof to tell us that Ananda is independent of the gross and subtle worlds. It is in me. Rather, when I come out of me and create out of me only the gross and subtle worlds, that I am reducing all my Ananda and entering into the samsara of the dukkha. And what is the delusion here? Instead of reaching to our own self, struggling with the not self only to change the conditions, etc., to give us sukha or happiness. That is called miserable delusion and samsara. So Nidra एक उदाहरण हो गया. All the Rishi Muni Gurus of the they are the other thing, and the authority of the Shastra, all of them say that the Ananda is my own Swarupa. This is not said out of sentiment or emotion to convert or compel us. ऐसा थोड़ी होता है शास्त्र. Yeah? Don't think that somebody is emotionally blackmailing you by telling to become introverted to know the self, give them the world. जब तक ये बेवकूफ़ी या गलत भावना नहीं जाता कि कोई कुछ कर रहा है मुझे जगत को छुड़वाने के लिए, तब तक आप वेदांत समझ ही नहीं सकते. बच्चे लोग हो आप, कोई भी हो, इंक्लूडिंग मी. And whose is not the experience of disappointment or distress or displeasure in the world, in worldly gains? Every gain in the world ultimately made us a loser only at the end of it. शायद राजा बने, सम्राट बने, बड़े बड़े ऊंचे दर्जा में पहुंच गए, कितनी सिद्धियां शक्तियां पाए. All the outer achievers have ended only in saying we have not achieved the ultimate. That is another proof. No, if the outer gains have given fulfillment, completeness, satisfaction, ananda, nitya niratishay ananda, called liberation, then they should stop pursuing anything else. If you go on doing something or the other, Brahmagnani has nothing to do for him. And he does on the behalf of the Lord or behalf of the Lord to serve the world out of his love and compassion, not to gain anything. So what is the topic we are discussing so far in so many details? Manishtata. Clear? Then when we have got convinced about the Paramatma as the goal, Jnana and Bhakti Marga, Manishtata has become. But is it enough for us to have the conviction that Bhagavan is the goal? No. Then we have to fulfill that goal, the conviction. Then all those practices, right from scratch, right from where we are, till we reach to that Mannishtata goal, all those sadhanas here put in one word called as Bhakti Yogena. Therefore, in Bhakti Yogena, Bhakti Marg mein, what are the sadhanas which take us to that nishtha in our conviction that Paramatma is the goal, fulfilling that goal? What I mean is, all the bhakti sadhana starting from first having little belief in presence of God, then intensifying that, starting understanding his glory, greatness, offering things to him, telling all our sukha dukkha to him, requesting him only to give us whatever we want. This is how that bhakti yoga in the initial stages. वंस गोइंग टू टेम्पल, तीर्थ यात्रा, कभी कभी उनको याद करना, भजन प्रोग्राम में जाना, कथा में जाना, पूजाएं करना घर में. दिस इज हाउ इट स्टार्ट्स. And as we are becoming more and more involved in Paramatma, we involve Paramatma more and more in our lives, every activity. That is the increase in the Bhakti Yoga. And at a more refined stage, when do we reach the refined stage? One, when we have completed all our obligations. Second, when we have got sufficient detachment from the world. Third, when we started truly, genuinely doing bhakti sadhanas and enjoying them. At that paripakva sthiti, our inclination for bhakti becomes more, inclination of the world becomes less. At that time, we are given all this Navadha Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho Smaranam, Vishnoho Shravanam, Vishnoho Kirtanam, Vishnoho Smaranam, Vishnoho Pada Sevanam, Vishnoho Archanam, Vishnoho Vandanam, Vishnoho Dasyam, Vishnoho Sakhyam, Vishnoho Atmanivedanam. Any of in these 9 bhakti sadhanas only is involving in from morning till night, like Asupte Ramrite Kalam Nayeta Bhaktya or Vedanta Chintaya. Yesterday, day before we saw, or Telugu people saw it, I think, in Vedanta Dindima. That person has no other thing to do. Imagine, for his own personal needs or necessities, he made them zero or minimum, not zero, minimum. And he is nipping them, finishing them in a minimum work. As regards his all other duties, as we said already, he has completed. Any other requests coming from the world, temptations coming in the world, obligations coming from the world, he has learned the art of saying enough of it. Any thoughts come in him, first of all, they don't come. Even if they come, he just smiles at them and says, "We have done it for many lives. Oh my dear, please stop coming to trouble me." Then what it does? Shravanam, Kirtanam, all these involved. I'm explaining Bhakti Yoga when the Bhakti is the sadhana to reach Saguna Paramatma as the sadhya, which is called Manishtaha here. Hope you are tuning fully, carefully listening, I expect you. We are giving all the time energy to exhaustively understand. After this chapter and next chapter, in fact, all marga doors for the mukti should be opened in our understanding, in our lives, and only we have to travel and reach out. That's all. सब खुले हैं, रास्ता खुला है, सारे गाड़ियां तैयार है, सब कुछ है, सिर्फ तय करना है उस डिस्टेंस को, ट्रैवल एंड रीच आउट. उतना सिंपल होना चाहिए उनका आध्यात्मिक जीवन. आफ्टर दीज 2 chapters thoroughly studied. And he is involved, like last one is Atmanivedanam. In the Atmanivedanam, his bhakti gets culminated, his effort. Thereafter, then his effort completed in his own surrender to himself, to the Lord completely, then he takes over. This bhakta knows now, I am nothing to me, I am everything to God. Lord only gives anything, everything to me. And he is reveling in that, being taken care of by the Paramatma. Such persons sing these songs. Dina Bandhu Dina Nath, Meri Dori Tere Hath, then Mahilo Mein Rakhe Chahe, Jhopdi Mein Vasude. All such songs are the outcome of the experience of the greatest devotees who have from the scratch started doing their bhakti sadhana through many lives, and in this life they culminated and concluded their sadhana with a Atmanivedanam, offering themselves. Then he knows, the Lord knows where to put me. In fact, I am not there. I am a pawn now in the chessboard. He will use me for his own victory, for his own work. And it's so. All these great bhaktas of Tulsidasas, these great Jnanadevas, Tukarams, these Chaitanya Mahaprabhus, all these Ramadas, Kshetriyas, Tyagarajas, they're of that, yes, Uchakoti. In one life only, from these great saints whose names I have taken, in one life only, from an ordinary life of samsara like you and me, they have, doing sadhana intensely, have reached to the parakatastha sthiti, both of having pratyaksha darshan of the Lord and having left the body, reach the Bhagavan. Between these two, having experienced the God, they become saviors of the world by showing all of us the variety of bhakti sadhana margas. That's why their life history is very inspiring. Like Tulsidas, one life only. He was so much attached to his wife and all. That was all up to the age of 35. When she spoke those few words, so he left, and between that 35 to 70 years age, those 35 years vigorously, he did all his sadhana. He had the Rama Anubhava, Hanuman Anubhava, Darshana and all, Shiva Darshana, Shiva Bhakti, that he became instrument for Lord Shiva to write or give these Ramacharitamanus. Charitra. Every of these bhaktas you take, even Valmiki Adi, Rishis, Munis, they are the examples to us. So it's clear now what is the samsara, chitta born, triguna forced, vasana forced, vrittis forcing us to do the karma, giving us results of different types to experience which we are thrown from one place to the other. That is called samsara. Goes on. What is the mukti ki sadhana? We have to conquer these three gunas. This is what is to be achieved. How to do that? Manishtaha bhakti yoga. Then Manishta is reaching at the lap of the Lord, feet of the Lord, abode of the Lord, merging in the Lord in Bhakti Bhasha. For that, what is sadhana? Bhakti yoga. What is Bhakti yoga? Slowly involving the Lord in our life till Lord alone is there in our life. Like it happens when the conception news happens to that married women, slowly the thought of that child comes. By the time 9th month comes to her, only the child is totally in her. In her life, neither herself nor husband nor parent nor in-laws nor outlaws, all her life is like only for that child. That is called as Atma Nivedanam. For the sake of understanding, I am giving the example. No other thing for her. So too, a Bhakti Yoga starting and ending person, he does the Atma Nivedanam. And at which stage in this sequence of Bhakti Sadhana we have to think. Before that, have we got the Nishtha? Remember, I want worldly things. Thank God, God is giving me. And I'll pray to the Lord more and more through Alupasana, Tirtha Yatra, Pilgrimage, etc. So that He can give me more and more of the world. He is 100% samsari. He is never sadhaka. Who is sadhaka? Who is very clear in his sadhya vastu. And what is sadhya vastu? Man nishtaha. मुझे भगवान के अलावा और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. और इन भक्ति भगवान को मैं चाहूं ना, मतलब क्या है? मैं भगवान के हो जाना. I want Lord means I become totally surrendered to the Lord. It's Atma Nivedana Sthiti. Because as we are offering our things and beings to the Lord, things and all activities, karma phala, that Shanti starts giving us such a ananda, we discover a knack in giving to the Lord the ananda. Slowly that giving goes to the giveaway, totally we give up everything at His feet. Giving up everything at His feet called Atma Nivedana. That is the Meroto, Girdhar Gopal, Dusro na koi, all those shlokas come from that heart. Okay? Now in the Jnana Marga, Mannishtha is a goal. What is that Manishta? Atmanishta. Brahmanishta. Brahmatmaikya Anubhava Nishtha. Brahmatmaikya Bodha Nishtha. Sarvatmya Anubhava Nishtha. I used 5 words, but the meaning of all of that is one only. Ekamevaadvayam Brahma Nehananasti Nishtha. Yat Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma Nishtha. Ayamatma Brahma Nishtha. एक एक उपनिषद में एक एक शब्द यूज किया, तो हम सब यूज कर रहे हैं. फॉर दोज चिल्ड्रन आर गुरु दे नो कन्फ्यूजन, क्योंकि वो एक ही बताते थे. इन छांदोग्य ही स्पोक ओनली तत्वमसि. ही नेवर ब्रॉट ब्रह्म हम ब्रह्मास्मि अयमात्मा ब्रह्म. At the time of Ayamatma Brahma, in Mandukya, only Ayamatma Brahma told. Other things are not told. Prajnana Brahma, when it's told in the Aitareya, only that is told. Others they are not touched. Ham Brahma, when it's told in Udaranyaka, that only told. We are studying all the 4, therefore we get 4. And then we get confused. इसमें से कौन सा करना है यार, सब एक ही है. So first, what is Manishtaha? Nishtha in our own Anubhava of the Atma. And be attentive. If you don't feel that experience now, means that we have not experienced it. And when we experience it, the only proof for it that there is no doubt. There is no moha, there is no delusion. There is no shifting our identity. Like in the Atma Ajnana Avastha, means when I don't establish in myself, that means right now I am. Continuously I am shifting my identity. Is it not? And thus in the sleep I am Sushupti Purusha, Prajna. Nidra mein, as dream mein I am Swapna Purusha, Taijasaha. Jagrata Avastha I am Vishwaha, the Jagrat Purusha. In this Vishwa also, as Vishwa is an identity as a waker from morning till night. Am I having one identity every time? क्या 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 हर एक मिनट में बदल रहा है मैं. When I think I am having an idea, I am an intellect person, intellectual. Emotion से हुआ तो I am emotional. When I am perceiving, I am a perceiver. बोलो, every moment my identity बदल रहा है. मतलब सच्ची चीज को हमने पकड़ा नहीं. सच्ची चीज का क्या होता है कि वो बदलाव नहीं होता उसमें. And with all other identities, so every moment I am changing in the day. I am explaining the word Manishta first. That Nishtha in Atmanubhava is such one, thereafter which there is no confusion about identity. Also, there is no shifting our identity from one to the other into these 3 avasthas. Naturally, when there is no jumping or falling to these 3 avastha, how can there be falling further? For example, in the waking plane, in different identities. Hoga hi nahi wo. That is the Manishta proof, where I know what I am. Finish. That's it. Like till you know the rope, it is seen as snake, it is seen as hose pipe, it is seen as garland, it is seen as bhuchidra, it can be seen as something else. Possibilities are so many. But once the apprehension of the rope as rope happens, no other misapprehension is possible. All our identities of Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, as waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, are the misapprehensions. They will go on continuously happening till the correct apprehension of the self happens, like the apprehension of the rope removes all misapprehensions. It happens. If it does not happen, how it looks like is what we are doing now. If 1 or 2 are realized saints in your group seated, my salutations to you. Manishtaha. All these are misapprehensions. And the right apprehension of reality has no doubt I am that. None of these. These were belonging to the delusory phantom called as Jiva, who was predominantly living life, taking the Kanti from me, taking the Upadhi also from my Shakti. Now, in the apprehension of me, I have dissolved my own Jiva Bhava, which was binding me. I am not that. Like yesterday, I was fool doing something wrong. And suddenly today I learned the knowledge. Then what happened to that fool who did mistake today? Gone. Now today who is working? A wise person. Understood? The upadhi of ignorance made me fool yesterday. Today I have transcended that foolishness. Therefore there is no fool in me. I am wise today. You understand? In the same way, I only acted as Jiva with my ignorance. Ignorance and Upadita Adatma, all that is gone. I discovered myself as the self. Now, these things in a calm, quiet mind, sitting in a hall, putting a fan, whatever you want, in a relaxed mood of Shuddha Sattva Guna, when we contemplate every day, before which we invoke the grace of God, Guru, and Shruti Mata to bless to have that day's contemplation very effective, very powerful, very deep. With this prayer, when we sit every day in the contemplation, these things which we spoke last 4 5 minutes, they start apprehensible by us, comprehensible by us. We start comprehending them, understanding them. Clear? Manishtaha explained. Now, sadhana for the manishta, like in the bhakti, here also bhakti yogena manishtaha. He is the only one who transcends the three gunas. After transcending, what will happen? That will be told in the last line. First, let us talk about how to transcend. Here, the bhakti yoga is loving approach to reach to this goal of manishta. And the sequence we have heard 2592 million times. The sequence in the sadhana to be done consciously at every step till we master that particular sadhana completely. To reach the manishtata in the jnana marga of aham brahmasmi. All they start from where? Viveka, Vairagya, Shama, Dhamma. They're all sequential. That's how the sequence already said in that way only. Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, Mumukshutvam. Immediately after Mumukshutvam, obviously, it is Shravanam. But obviously, to do Shravana, it is Guru Upasadanam, Guru Upasana, Guru Saranagati. They are not mentioned, but they are to be understood like that. Because after that Mumukshutvam, you have to do Shravana of the Mahavakya. Who gives Mahavakya? Guru only. How? Will the Guru come to you or what? You have to go. Jati Guru de denge kya? Na. You have to be satisfying him. How to do that? To come up to his expectations. How? By doing all this seva he tells. That's called Guru Sharanagati. So that's how those two also, if we add, then first 2, second 6, 8 plus 1, 9 plus 2, 11 plus 3, total 14 sadhanas to be done. Clear? What are the 14? Viveka Vairagya, 2 हो गए. Shamadama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, 6 हो गए. 2 और 6, 8. Then Mumukshuttam, 9. Guru Upasadanam, 10. Guru Saranagati, 11. Shravanam of the Shastra, 12. Manam of the Shastra, 13. Nididhyasanam of the Shastra, 14. After that experience of Aham Brahmasmi. This is called Bhakti Yoga in the Jnana Marga when Manishta is Aham Brahmasmi. So clear it is, unambiguous. Any doubt in that? In the intellectual apprehension. Now each of them have the definitions. Both for the Bhakti also, Shravanam, Kirtana, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pasevan, Archanam, Dasim, Atmanidam, उन सब का definition, explanations, initiations, मिडिल स्टेज एंड अल्टीमेट स्टेज उसके भी होते हैं, विवेक वैराग्य आदि में भी एक्सप्लेनेशंस होते हैं. Yeah, that is given in to us in all the Upanishads, etc. But the great Guru, Bhagavan Shankara, Avatara, has come to cull out all those beautiful definitions of all these sadhanas and give us in a simple capsule form. He gave us Upadesha Sahasri, he gave all the various beautiful textbooks. The best among are these 4. Upadesha Sahasri, Viveka Chudamani, Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha. If you study Tattva Bodha, you become fit for Atma Bodha. If you study both of them, you are qualified to study Vivek Chudamani. Whether we studied Vivek Chudamani thoroughly or not, it is proved when you study the Upadesha Sahasri. In that, all Prakriyas of Vedanta are given, and all of that let us see later on. But in the beginning only, all these qualifications are given up to Guru Upasadana, Guru Sharanagati. Then the entire bulk of those literature is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Shravanam, Guru makes us do by he teaching us. Mananam, he gives us guidance how to do, we have to do. Leading that Manana Sthiti, entering into Nididhyasana. Okay, श्रवण गुरु कराते हैं, मनना हमको करना है, रिजल्ट में निधि ध्यासन में हम प्रवेश करते हैं. इन द निधि ध्यास of what is that object which is understood as Satchidananda, in that effort we glide into the experience of it. Experience is called as moksha. And after that, establishing in that. So today, last 50-40 minutes, we have spent in what is the samsara definition, what is to be done to transcend those samsara, called as transcending three gunas. For that, two sadhanas, two things to be done are goal, that is manishtata, means or sadhana, that is bhakti yogena. When all that is done, what is the result? Mad bhavaya prapadyate. He will reach to doubtlessly my state of being. What is my state of being? I am that infinite, all pervading self. In me, there is nothing other than me to limit me, condition me, bind me, make me miserable. That's called Bhagavat Anubhuta Sthiti. Bhagavan, for him, every sun, moon, star, oceans, everything is he only. उनको उनके लिए उनसे अलग कुछ नहीं है. That experience which he experienced all the time, that everything is me and me and me alone, he, for sample saying, has shown to Arjuna in the Gita and to Rukmini and also to Akrura and to Yashoda, etc. What he is continually experiencing, that everything is me alone, he has shown in those Vishwarupa. Darshanam. That's called Madbhavaya Upapadyate. So I am one without second. If anything is there, it is my own expression. Therefore, I have no samsara. That you reach. That's called Gunatita Sthiti. In short, Madbhavaya Upadyate means Bhagavan is the beyond Guna Sthiti. What is beyond Guna Sthiti? Is Aham Brahmasmi Sthiti. Then, when he had to play the play of Srishti Siddhi Laya, he just calls his Maya Shakti and he prompted Maya. Immediately, Maya, okay, sir, Jeev, come. It goes and through three gunas, it does Srishti Siddhi Laya. He is not bound by all of that. Is any time beyond that. And while the Srishti Siddhi Laya happens, he will be entering every one of that. He is not bound. Like the difference between the jailer being in the jail every day and the Khaidi or the inmate prisoner being in the jail every day. Both are in the jail. But one fellow is bound, he is not bound. Patient is there throughout the day in the hospital, doctor also. But one is bound, one is liberated. So to the same loka, Bhagavan also comes as avatara and sadhu ityadi. He is liberated like that jailer or doctor. Others are like patients and prisoners, you and I. Ho gaya? Now comes the inspirational words by Lord Krishna. Kind words, compassionate words, loving words. Loving words so much like he's taking us into confidence, holding us by putting his hand on our shoulders, taking one of our hand into his hand, and with all that love concern. जैसे आप जितने प्यारे कोई व्यक्ति को, knowing that you are going to leave him once for all, how much love you shower, how much help, सेवा you want to do, how much you want to express it. याद रखो, वो सारे उद्धव जी के प्रति भगवान कृष्ण में शुरू से है in this skandha. We are doing this skandha for 1 year. For them it is only few days or 2 days or एक दिन में हो गया, सुबह से शाम तक. So you can imagine that Lord Krishna is taking Uddhavji into so much confidence and prema he is giving, and then the final words of advice and inspiration. Not only to Uddhavji, for all of us. And remember, Krishna Bhakti is not we do whatever we want and offer it to God. Krishna Bhakti is to know what Krishna wants from us. Doing only that is Krishna Bhakti. So too is Guru Bhakti. So to Desha Bhakti, so to parents Bhakti, so to the Bhakti to the job which is giving you the food. That's called loyalty, minimum. Clear? Therefore, sadhana kya hai, inspiration kya hai? Tasmad dehamimam labdhva jnana vijnana sambhavam gunasangam vinirdhoya mam bhajantu vichakshana. So he is holding on to Uddhavji, but addressing as if he is telling everyone, in which Uddhavji also included. So he is expecting all of us, what? To be vichakshanaha. What is vichakshana? Come up to the buddhi level and start thinking. And think for the best thing to be achieved. He vichakshana. Therefore, what to do? He says, recognize thing one. First thing is to recognize. Second thing is to do. Third thing is to reach. Recognize, do, reach. Recognize, do, reach. RDR technique. What is to recognize? Ki imam deham labdva jnana vijnana sambhavam. Recognize that you are having a human life in which the sambhavam of both jnana and vijnana are there. पहले इसको रिकॉग्नाइज करो कि मैं मनुष्य हूं. ये ज्ञान विज्ञान के लिए संभव वाला देह है, नॉट फॉर भोग. भोग तो किसी योनि में होता है कि नहीं. एनी ऑफ द एनिमल्स आल्सो हैव आहारम, निद्रा, भय, मैथुन. ये तो इवन इन एनी यूजलेस एनिमल्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड दे आर देयर. They, in those yonis, these two jnana and vijnana are not there. This topic yesterday, 20 minutes we explained you by taking the example of the Devata Loka, Asuradi Loka and also Pashu Pakshi Adi. सारे देकर हमने बताया इन किसी में भी ज्ञान विज्ञान का संभावना नहीं है. Because they are all bhoga yonis. They are all karma phala yonis, not karma doing yoni. Karma doing opportunity most freely, fully available only is in human life. And in human life, more than karma phala expectation, what we have to do, we can do is jnana vijnana sambhava. Means in this deha as a human body, we all have the sambhava of having jnanam, theoretical knowledge, and practicing it called vijnanam, then experiencing it also. Vijnanam is both practical application of sadhana and experiencing the result of it. The result is always mukti. Vijnanam is called sadhana, vijnanam is called mukti. Jnanam is theory. So this is what we recognized first. I am a human being, not an animal. To me, jnana vijnana sambhavana is there. So I can gain theoretical knowledge about how to get the mukti and sadhana. I can do it also, I can achieve also. If I do it in this life, as asked by Arjuna, in between only if I die, nothing to worry. You will be given again human life. You will continue only. In between, for some time, you will be sent to different lokas to clear off all your whatever the punya karma or papa karma you have done for those phala. But all of them are transitory. Like when you are catching one flight from the other after the other, those 16 hours you are in transit. You sit in that chair, that sofa, that place you go. You may even go out for some shopping, taking the permission from the airport authorities. भाई 6 घंटे का है break journey है, hopping है, so I just want to go see all I have surrendered, give me the permission. But all in all, in your mind, you know you have to catch the next flight. In the same way, though we are sent here and there, but the main thing will be we are sent back only to the human life to continue the journey. This assurance given to Lord Krishna in Gita. Therefore, no doubt about it. If at all, while pursuing the vijnana or the sadhana after gaining the jnana, without reaching the vijnana called as the goal, if we suddenly die in between, what will happen? It will be continuous. Be assured. You and I definitely, if you are true, serious, sincere about our goal to be Paramatma, Manishtaha and sadhana as Bhakti Yoga, whatever we are doing, पक्का गारंटी है आपके लिए हमारे कि फिर हम दोबारा मनुष्य लोक में आएंगे, सत्संग करेंगे एंड साधना ध्यान करेंगे परमात्मा को. चाहिए तो ना, सो हमें बहुत हो गए इसी से मैंने नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है, वट एवर यू वांट गो. Leave all Vedanta, all Shastra, all Paramatma knowing goal and take up all other goals like become Indra, Chandra, Bandra. कुछ भी बनना उसके लिए जो करना है करते जाओ. You know, some people who come to our satsang, then after that they leave it and somewhere they are seen. Is it not? No, only I'm saying this, but they are seen. We are not telling anything about them, either we are feeling sympathetic towards them or not. We are not saying how they feel it. But the point is what? They are no more in the goal and path. हो गया मिस उनका इस जन्म के लिए. हमको ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. मैं तो नहीं, मेरे लिए तो सोच लिया बाबा, चाहे हजारों लाख जन्म भी लगे, मैं आध्यात्म का ही करूंगा. परमात्मा प्राप्ति मेरे लिए लक्ष्य है बस. No doubt about it. It took some lives, but at least in this life, we got the strong conviction. For us, no other goal. We may be given, we may go here and there, but we'll never forget our goal to be Manishtaha. This is the then of what we are doing from last 15-20 years of study of Shastra. Especially last 2-3 years. Remember how many things we might have spoken 2500 into 1.5 hour, almost 4000 घंटे हमने बात की, even more than that. What are the things we may not remember, but one thing is sure, that we are getting convinced about our goal as knowing Paramatma, being one with the Paramatma. हो गया ना goal? Clear? Now, Jnana Vijnana Sambhavam Ideham Imam Prapya. Having obtained this body in which the Jnana Vijnana is possible, recognize it. Then do what? Do what is Guna Sangam Vinurdhoya. First, wash off your attachment with all the gunas. How do you wash off? First, to understand that they have to be washed off. Accept that they have to be washed off. To be ready that you are ready to wash it off. पता होता है हमको गाड़ी गंदा है, लेकिन सर्विसिंग को देते ही नहीं. पता है कि घर पूरा जो जाले लगे हुए हैं, चूना निकल रहा है, लेकिन बुलाते नहीं उसको निकाल कर पेंट करने के लिए. Will the house be clean, neat, if that's not done? In the same way, if you want to realize the Jnana Vijnana, which are Sambhava in the human life, you have to, what we have to first do is Guna Sangam Vinirthoya. In Guna Sangam Vinirthoya, first the necessity of that we have to understand, then we have to accept it, and we have to be ready for that. What is necessity? It is necessary to wash off all the three gunas. That necessity is accepted. I accept that it is necessary. Then I am fully willing and I am convinced. Then I do the due things to do the washing of that. And what to do to wash off that? How many million things I have to do? Already Bhagavan said in the earlier sloka. Again he is repeating here. Maam bhajantu. Bas. Now these two things go together always. Guna Sangha Vinirthoya and Maam bhajantu. Means when we have washed off with our own willpower, the Sangha toward the gunas, there is a chance for us to do Maam bhajantu, worship of the Lord. So too, when we are becoming regular, sincere in our worship of God, our Sangha to the Guna also gets reduced. Final achievement was 0 Guna Sangha, 100% Maam bhajantu. अभी हो रहा है कि ना 6 क्लास हो गए, 5 घंटे हो रहा है, धीरे धीरे और बढ़ा, अब कुछ होना ही नहीं दूसरा जिंदगी में. Remember, at this time, when you don't start sadhana or in the beginning stage, there is no problem. When you have reached the topmost, then also there is no problem. In between stage where we are going through, na ghar ka na ghat ka time hai na, yahan हमको ज़्यादा danger होता है. Because we not reached the goal and we are going through terrible struggling in the path of listening, trying to meditate, trying to contemplate. And we have still lot of vasanas, and forcefully we are giving up the world. What happens at this time? Those vasanas inside try to pull us. And to that, what adds is our not yet reach the goal, no? That type of dukkha or frustration. जैसे कि ना जो बंदा पहले दूसरे कैलेंडर होता है ना, वैष्णो देवी के माता में, he is fully inspired. और ऑलमोस्ट 13-14 जिसका हो गया, ही इज ऑलमोस्ट रीचिंग, उसको भी दिक्कत नहीं था. जो बीच में होते हैं ना 7-8 किलोमीटर वाले, they are always in a tension because they gave up so much. यहां तक आए और पता नहीं कितना दूर डाउट है, वो माइंड उनका इतना दुख होता रहता है. तो you and I also, this is most crucial dangerous period where total committedly doing sadhana and almost reaching the goal, that has not happened, and we are not fully indulgent in the world. ये वाला आर पार वाला समय है. तो आर वाला कर दिया हमने, तो back to samsara square one. Again, after how many thousands of janma we get human lives, and again out of so many human life, in which life we are born in India to study Shastra, we don't know. We may be born as human being only, no doubt, but कोई बिल किरात के रूप में जन्म लिया, अमेज़न फॉरेस्ट में जन्म लिया, कोई ऐसे जगह जहाँ पूरी नास्तिकता है. What is a guarantee that we are born only in Hinduism in India? Depending on our vasanas. कहेगा किसको पता भैया, फिर कब मिलेगा हमको तो नहीं पता. We will be thrown from one place to the other. Gunasangam vinirudhoya mam bhajantu vichakshanaha. This is what complementary to each other. Do the bhajan of the Lord, then Gunasanga goes away. Do the Gunasanga Vinudhutam, slowly we can do the bhajana. In these two only, we have to go on involving. And while doing so, we are in the middle path, आर में आ गए तो फर्स्ट पार के लिए ट्राई करना. That's why every day, if you observe, I'm sure you have that kindness. How much in every class we are taking the name of the Lord and praying to Him with whatever ignorance, innocence, inefficiency, insufficiency, immaturity we have, that we all know, but we are doing. सारे देवताओं को और गुरुओं को याद करके भगवान इवन आरती के टाइम हमें बचाओ, हमें पार ले जाओ. पार ले जाना means taking you as the goal and means convincingly that we should not look back anymore. पीछे देखा फंस गए. All that we'll study in the Ailopakhyanam. The whole next chapter is for this purpose only, to make us par. What is the meaning of taking us par? You convince about the goal means to reach the goal, not to look back. That example of Aila, the Ila Putra and his song, that Pururama of that Urvashi, is the most powerful story. When that is digested like we are doing these shlokas, you will never come back again to the worldliness. If it is digested. If you have come back, mean that chapter is not thoroughly felt or understood or digested or accepted by us. And that also, like we did this every word, I am going to study that chapter like that. It is only 30 shloka. It may take 20 days or 15 days, 10. I don't bother because usko thoroughly padna hai. And without any embarrassment or ambiguity, because that is the ultimate of the thing to be studied or understood. Before that, here, Gunasangam Vinurdhoya Mam Bhajantu. They are called as Vichakshana. So, what is to be recognized? We are in human life where Jnana Vijnana Sambhavam. Then what is to be done? There are the two things to be done. One, giving a value importance to gunas, and giving the value importance to Bhagavad Bhajana. And what Bhagavad Bhajana? That is Bhakti. What is Bhakti? In Jnana Marga and Karma Marga, 20 minutes we have thoroughly explained 5-10 minutes back. Okay, now that little more clearly Bhagavan is telling us. What are they? Nisango mam bhajet vidvan apramatto jitendriyaha rajastamascha bhijayeto sattva samsevaya munihi. This also is a huge thesis put in one shloka. You have to open it up and thoroughly study. So Bhagavan here is using the word as calling us as what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sadhanas are told here for us. Through these 6 sadhanas, what is achieved? Rajas tamahacha avijayetu. So in our project of transcending 3 gunas, first we have to transcend the lower 2 gunas of rajas tamas with the sattva. And how the sattva guna comes to us? These are the 5 plus 1 sadhanas given. So through the doing of these 5 plus 1 sadhanas with thorough understanding, conviction and application, first stage of achievement would do, that is transcending rajas and tamas. In the next sloka, how and where to employ this gained sattva guna to transcend even that guna and reach Paramatma, that will be told. So we'll today only address what are those 6 things, only mention them. Details we'll see. First, Nisangaha. Feel the meaning of this word. Whether we do the sadhana or not, about that let's see later on. पहले जितने 1000 बार इस बात को सुना हमने, निसंगहा, और क्या होता है, कैसा होता है, कभी महसूस करने का कोशिश किया क्या? निसंगा. And whenever the sanga, nisanga words come, always remember about sanga toward the karma phala, through the karma, by identifying with the karmendriyas, in which there is we in our heart have the kamana. So kamana, karma, karma phala, and karta to become the bhokta. These 5 things are the ones we have to give up the sanga. So I want to become the bhokta of that particular vastu, which will come as karma phala. When a karma is done, for which there is a kamana, of which I have to become a karta. I have a kamana, to fulfill which I have to do a karma. That becomes, I become kami, I become karta, Then karma phala comes, I become bhokta of it. Towards all this, we have sangha now. Wherever the nisanga is said, that means detached from all this. That's called vairagya sthiti only. Nissanga. And this always nisanga is at the mind level. And that feeling you can have any moment, even now, wherein in my mind, for any reason from within or without, any of these five things are coming. I want to become bhokta of the karma phala by doing karma, because of which I have a desire in me, and I am becoming karta. ये पांच नहीं रहने वाला स्थिति को निस्संग कहते हैं. Little more we'll see tomorrow. Then second one is mam bhajet, always engaged in related to the Lord. Third one is what? Apramatta, biggest price we have to pay, बड़ा वाला. कभी जैकपॉट पाने के लिए आपको बड़ा दाव पे लगाना पड़ता है. Biggest thing you have to take chance. And the biggest thing in spirituality, the price to pay is being alert, apramatta. What is that? Tomorrow we'll see. Apramatta sada bhavati yogo hi prabhapyau. In na pramadam kuryat. Hundreds of, every shastra this word comes. Don't be in pramada, be apramatta. Third one is that. Nissangaha mam bhajeta. Third one is vidvana. Fourth one is apramattaha. Fifth one is jitendriyaha. Sixth one is sattvam seva. Seventh one is mumni. These are the each word we have to understand. आप समझ रहे हैं ना भागवत का अध्ययन क्या होता है? This is what is, especially in these topics which are talking about the mukti. हमको thoroughly पढ़ना, समझना, feel करना और साधना करना. Then after this, when we gain sattaguna, how to conquer sattaguna also is said in 35 mantra. When that is done, Bhagavan said this jiva gets rid of all those reasons because of which he was becoming jiva. Because those reasons have gone away, his jiva bhava also goes away. Then what remains? Maya eva brahmana purnaha. He becomes one like me, purna, with his own aham brahmasmi anubhava. And none of them are out of the hat being spoken or just a theory said to mesmerize or to misguide us. They're all the facts. That is how the rishis munis experienced and gave us in the Shastra. And from that time till now, whoever have believed in these teachings of the Shastra and practiced, every one of them got that result. Mano karo paunch jao, nahi mano chodo phase raho. Nobody bothers. It is our choice. Yeah? Those 2.5 shlokas are still left. We'll spend one more day in our mind tomorrow in trying to understand them. Then comes the 26th Adhyaya about the Aila Geetam. That Aila Putra Pururava. Okay. His song. बाप रे बाप रे बाप. इनमें के कोई श्लोक जो है मैं बताऊं ना, simple but perfect solution for the confusion, tensions, worries, non-understandings, non-impressions, misunderstandings, slaveries which we are going through from millions of lives. सबके लिए यहाँ इस अध्याय में चाहते हैं तो सॉल्यूशन मिलने वाला, नहीं चाहो तो कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. सॉल्यूशन है, आप लेना चाहते हो. We will study that आराम से. सर्वम कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. बोल श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय. Thank you. Let's study our Bhagavatam for some time. I request you to forward these talks to some of your seemingly spiritual sadhakas who may make use and appreciate. Just for the sake of or the reason of the content being so divine purposeful. Your choice. Hari Om.